Shalom. Call Allah, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Akar, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of great millstone that rule well, teach well. Salutations unto the elect Akim, that are of the house of David, that are teaching in sincerity and in truth and enduring with all long suffering and with sound doctrine. So as you see here, I have on the screen the movie The Siege. And no, it's a movie that was put out in the late 90s, I believe like 1998, which the reincarnation of this movie is going to come to pass. Now, if you've seen the movie, you're familiar with, as it says here, it says the martial law edition. If you're familiar with the movie, I believe the apostles, they brought it out some odd years ago, when this thing of ours hit the scene, or hit the YouTube scene when they brought it out. I believe like in 2007 they brought it up, but what I want to get into is the reincarnation of it, Now when you actually watch the movie, it's about how the Arabs, they come over here and they create these different terroristic acts, which at the end of the day, if you look at it with a spiritual eye, and you look at it, like I said, with a spiritual eye, then you realize that this movie is it's really talking about us, man. Because this is the reason why I say it's talking about us is because Esau, he came up with a law, like if he deems you a terrorist, he has a right to move on you. Okay, which is what this movie is about. You have these Arabs that came over here creating these terroristic acts, blowing things up, and creating all types of chaos. And in this society, that's how they look at us. Like, we create chaos. We're teaching the hate doctrine. Which we're not teaching the hate doctrine. We're teaching it straight out of the scriptures. Now, but it sounds like hate to those that hate the truth. Okay, and Esau hates the truth. He knows who we are, man. And like I said, this movie came out in the late 90s. So what they did, when these different acts of terrorism were occurring, what they did is they instituted martial law. So there's going to be a time where they're going to, because they look at us as terrorists now, they're going to have a reason to move on people, man. That's going to give them all right to institute the martial law and suspend the Constitution. Okay? So I want to get into a few scriptures that, and also, not only, I just want to get this scripture, I'm not going to keep on talking about it, because you had the people that were up running the streets, which that same time, we're coming into that same time where people are going to be riding the streets. They're going to be wondering why they can't leave the town, why pretty much they can't do anything without the say-so of the government. That's what that movie was about. And if brothers haven't watched it, when the apostles first brought it out, I suggest that brothers go and try to find it, like on YouTube, or maybe you could find somewhere, go and buy it or watch it, man. It's definitely prophetic, So the first scripture I want to get into is this book of 2nd Ezra, the 16th chapter, the 15th chapter, and 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and the destruction draweth nigh." Now first it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." So that's the people that's outside of this truth, the people that are ignorant to the law, statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, whether by choice or by force. When I say by the force of the Most High, putting that veil over their eyes. Okay? But it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Why? Because this type of things like The Siege. Another good movie is The Road, where it shows the famine and how you have to be a pilgrim upon the earth. because these different things are going to happen, and we have to be prepared, man. You know, that's why we have to continually be in the scriptures. You have to continually watch these prophecies, because if we don't, then that day will overtake us as a thief in the night. And then this scripture right here in 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter and the 14th verse, will be applied to us when it says, "Woe to them, woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands." Now, if you when you see that movie, The Siege, there was a point where Esau instituted martial law, where you had, you know, all different types of nations and different races. They were coming together, and there was, you know, they were creating sedition against the Constitution. Not against the Constitution, against the power of Esau. Okay, like, why are y'all instituting martial law? But hey, in fact, the book of Isaiah says that everybody's gonna go to their own land. Okay, and right here in the book of 2nd Ezra, it says, one people, it says, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, which means that all these different races and these different nationalities that you have, they're gonna go to what they know. They're not gonna be standing in cahoots. They're not gonna be, you know, niggas aren't gonna be fighting for the sake of Esau. I mean, you have some niggas will, but on an overall scale, people are gonna go back to what they know. You know, the Ammonites, the Chinese are gonna go what they know. The Japanese, the Hamites. That's when it's really gonna be a separation of the people, man, because we have race riots and different types of wars that are going to be going on. Okay, so it says, one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there should be sedition among men, and invading one another. You know, it says, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Okay, which is a perfect example. There was a part in the movie where, like I said, they were standing up against the trying to stand up against the military, man. Okay, protesting, if you will. But guess what? That's why I said it's going to be the reincarnation of the siege, man. Because though all these different nations are going to stand up, all these different nations that are in America, they're going to stand up against Esau. They're going to try to. Okay, and they're not going to regard their kings and nor their princes, which is what? They're not going to regard the government. They're not going to regard the president. They're not going to regard the governor, the mayor, you know, the police. They're not going to regard these things, man. Okay? Because America gave you freedom of speech, so guess what? Those people are going to take it to another level, which we've been doing, but we're doing it on a biblical and spiritual level, and we're doing it with, it says, be harmless, wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. Okay? We've been doing this, but it's going to be a time where it's going to get hectic. And the people aren't going to know how to understand it, because why? The spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua is not with them to understand the times, man. We understand these times. So there will be a sedition among men. Now I want to get this. Because when martial law is instituted, you know, and then, Salakia, another thing that they did, you know, that I failed to mention, is once that martial law was instituted, they were going door to door, as martial law does, and they was collecting them, and they were throwing them into camps, man. You know, they were putting them in a prison, which is the same as a concentration camp or a detention center, you know, however you know it as. And they were doing that, and they were keeping them there against their will. And that's the same thing that's coming to pass, man. It's going to come to pass. You think that they haven't got rid of it? You think they got rid of the concentration camps? No, they still got these concentration camps set up throughout the states, man. They're just waiting to use them, waiting for the right time to use them. And the Most High is going to tell them when to use them. Okay? Because the Esau, no spirit upon this earth or in heaven can do anything without the confirmation of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, man. So they still got these camps. They're still waiting to move in on us, man. They're waiting to move in on all Americans, man. You know, and they're creating these different um what's the name of it? False flag attacks. You know, as you know, you got the school shootings going on, which when you look into it, you know that it's phony, man. They're just doing this to divert what's really going on. Which right now, what we got going on, the war's on the cusp, man. America's about to go to war, but guess what? They bring in these false flag attacks just so you can pay attention to that and be so distraught and drawn into that you're forgetting, you're forgetting the bigger picture, man. You know. So I'm gonna get this in the book of Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, in the first verse. It says, "Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them." So that's saying while you had time to seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, and you had time to get into the prophecies and into the scriptures, do it, man. Don't put off from day to day. Don't slack. Don't say, I could do it tomorrow. No, just get into it, man, because there's going to be a time where you're not going to be able. You're not going to be able to find Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. You're just going to have to face the judgment that he has coming to America. Which, who wants to get caught up in terror, man? Who wants to get caught up in that? Who wants to fall into the hands of the living power when you're on the top of his shit list? Because you didn't want to do what you wanted to do. Do what you were supposed to do. But it says, while the sun, or the light, or the moon, or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. So like in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. So this comes with the territory, man. This is prophetic. As you see, if you watch the news, you can see how the stock market, the Dow, the NASDAQ, all these things, they're fluctuating. America's currency is so unstable, man. Why? Because it's not backed by anything. It's not backed by gold. It's not backed by anything that can become useful, which goes into the chip, man. Because once this dollar crashes, they're slowly bringing in the chip because they know that this dollar's going to crash. They need some type of backup currency, and that currency is going to be the RFID chip, being the mark of the beast in Revelation. Okay? So let me continue on, because it says, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look out of the windows shall be darkened. Okay, so that means the American dream is going to fail. The American dream is bound to fail. It's destined inevitably to fail, man. So it says, and this is the point I want to get. It says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall raise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall brought low. So this is going to be a time where you're not going to be able to go to work, man. You're not going to be able to go chase money. That's why the scriptures, they talk about niggas that chase money all day, man. It's awareness of the flesh. Niggas lose sleep behind fiat notes, man. When you put your trust in fiat notes and then it fails, then what are you going to do? You're going to trust in the next currency being the chip. Okay? Now I want to get this one last scripture and I'm going to end it. Now this is dealing with, because us in this thing of ours, man, the men that are in the know, we're not exempt from Esau coming into our doors, man. We're not exempt from Esau trying to snatching us up out of our house and throwing us into the camps. Okay? But that's why I want to get this scripture here in the book of Isaiah. And it says this. So like it. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 59, and verse, let me see. Yep, I'm going to just start from 19 and get straight to the point. It says, so shall they fear the name of the Lord Yahweh from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So this is speaking on martial law, okay? Because we're not exempt from Esau kicking in our doors. We're not exempt from Esau running in our house and snatching up our kids and our women and putting them to death. We're not exempt from that, But it says,